Truth or Fake means Vedika Bahl over by the bipboard. Good evening to you, Vedika. Here in Paris, 10 people went on trial for allegedly cyberbullying the French First Lady, Brigitte Macron. It's the latest in years of discrimination, false rumours about her gender and sexuality. Vedika, talk us through the timeline. How did we get to this point?
Well, Mark, it's been years that the First Lady of France, Brigitte Macron, has been plagued by unsubstantiated claims about her gender. And in this trial that began today, there are 10 defendants, 8 of them men, 2 women, all between the ages of 41 and 60. They're accused of spreading malicious comments about her online. And if convicted, they could face 2 years in prison. But if we go back to how we got here, well, the false claims that she was born a man, it all really kicked off in 2021 when a 4-hour YouTube video was published online by Amandine Roy, her self-described medium, along with Natasha Ray, who describes herself as an amateur investigative journalist. And in this 4-hour video, they presented the theory that the real Brigitte Macron died very young, in fact, and her identity was taken on then by her older brother, Jean-Michel-Trogneux, who had surgery to then physically become a woman and then married Emmanuel Macron, the French president. And this video and the theories in it were posted far and wide by anti-vax and far-right accounts, and it didn't take long, in fact, for the hashtag Jean-Michel-Trogneux to then start trending online. Now, I really want to mention here, I think it's important to note that Jean-Michel-Trogneux, the brother of Brigitte Macron, he is 80 years old today, and he is very much alive. But what may have really helped fuel this rumour online is that the relationship between the Macrons, the first couple of France, they have long been the subject of online cannon fodder online. There's a huge speculation and interest in their relationship. They do have a 24-year age gap between them. The First Lady was indeed a teacher at the President's School when they met, so that may have really helped fuel it. But Brigitte Macron and her brother then decided to sue these women for defamation, the women that made that video. And in fact, they actually won that case. But earlier this year, that was overturned and they did, in fact, lose on appeal. The judge's argument, Mark, was that it's not derogatory to call someone transgender and therefore it can't be considered defamatory either.
I'm left with so many questions, Vedika. One thing I have to say is that, I mean, who cares if indeed Mrs. Macron had been born a man? I mean, who cares? Whose business is it? As we understand it, of course, she wasn't. But it's such a shame that she feels she has to, I suppose, prove this in some way, shape or form. It's degrading for her, I think, in some way. But nonetheless, these claims being made seem completely wild and spurious. But nonetheless, they appear to grow because people seem to like that sort of speculation, let's put it that way. It's not just in France, though, is it, that the Macrons are having this struggle? Tell us about that.
No, it hasn't. It's spread far beyond France, and the Macrons have now also taken action in the States. This really exploded on the internet when Candace Owens, far-right podcaster, commentator, MAGA commentator, she picked it up and she became one of the most vocal champions of this conspiracy theory. In fact, she said that she was willing to bet her entire professional reputation on it. And she built her multi-part series called Becoming Brigitte on her platforms. But she took these accusations even further from what was previously in that 4-hour video. She, amongst many other things, she claimed that the president and his wife are even blood related as well. And this was a huge moneymaker for her, as you can imagine. There was millions of views on all of these episodes on her platforms compared to the ones before, which had hundreds of thousands. And in typical Candace Owens fashion, she did provoke this story as well a lot, even wearing merchandise like this, displaying Brigitte Macron as Times Man of the Year. And earlier this year, it was then that, in fact, that the Macrons decided to take legal action. They decided to sue her in her home state of Delaware. Owens did try and dismiss the case, but the Macrons countered with a 241-page complaint about the vitriol that they were facing. And Macron's lawyers have said that they are willing to offer scientific evidence to dispel the rumours once and for all.
What motivates people to do this kind of campaigning journalism, they would call it? We could think of other names to describe it, of course.
Well,
why are internet users so keen then to engage with this kind of rumour, Vedika? Tell us about this.
Well, Mark, that is the question, but it does have all the ingredients, you know, as if you will, of a perfect conspiracy theory. We have a head of state involved. We have an implication that the head of state is lying and deceiving his people. We have a sexuality, gender element involved. So it all really adds to the perfect conspiracy theory there. But analysts have pointed to a phenomenon known as transvestigation. And transvestigation has been described by GLAAD, American LGBTQ organisation, as a phenomenon that targets cisgender public figures, investigates their them with fake pseudoscientific evidence that being trans is negative. And these conspiracy theorists will study gait, size, features, etc. But Brigitte Macron is not the First Lady to suffer this kind of conspiracy theory. We saw it many times with Michelle Obama during the Obama presidency. Even today on forums and Reddit threads, there are people willing to die on this hill that Michelle Obama was born a man. We've even seen it with, Jacinda Ardern, Kamala Harris, even sports people like Imran Khalif. But many conspiracy theorists, Mark, they might want to push this, particularly as politicians rarely address this kind of scandal, this kind of rumour. But it does seem, as we can see from the legal action, that the Macrons, they just have had enough.
Strong scene of misogyny, isn't that, in this whole thing, Vedika, I think. Vedika, thank you very much indeed for giving us the truth or fake on the Brigitte Macron story. The claims, spurious. But obviously we will follow all legal developments on this story right to the very end. Vedika, thank you very much indeed.